Rakim once said, "It ain't where you're from, it's where you're at." Many people will argue that this line from the song I Know You Got Soul should be important in hip-hop culture, that it should be about your skills, not your color or background. But hey, who are we kidding? The background still matters, and in rap, being real is like a VIP pass to the game. So in this video, we will dive into the world of 12 white rappers that are killers. EBE bands. When we talk about Chiraq, we often think of names like Gangster Disciples, Bloods, Black Disciples, People Nation, and Almighty Black P. Stone Nation. Speaking specifically about the Black P. Stone gang, there was a white kid named Bands who used to hang out with one of their groups. EBE Bands, whose real name was William Pickering, but also known as Billy the Kid, was a rapper from Chicago, Illinois. He was a member of Global Money Eastbound Entertainment, also known as GMEB. Sadly, he passed away in 2019. He was known for his impressive rap skills, especially in the drill music genre. He was one of the few white artists in Chicago to excel in the genre and the game. But hold up, he didn't start with the name Bands. He used to go by GMEB Bands, a nod to his affiliation with two music groups heavily populated by Black P. Stone gang members, EBE and GME. Over time, those groups drifted apart, and he dropped the GMEB, leaving him with just EB Bands. In an interview between GMEB gang members and Zach TV, they discuss how GMEB expanded beyond the original members and mentioned connecting with other artists. They vouched for him and spilled the tea that they connected with him through drug dealings.
Now, how y'all connect with the homie Bands, man? What's up?
I connected with the gang selling drugs, really.
Damn.
Bands casually mentions how he used to whip up drugs from scratch and sell them in Rogers Park.
I was finessing, you know? I was making that from scratch, from Robitussin bottles, finessing the out of everybody. But I finessed them, almost. So I'm put it like that.
Okay.
Bands explains that he got connected with GMEB when someone from the group bought drugs from him.
I got connected with one of the T's, basically through a drug deal, really.
Okay.
They had wanted some lean. I ain't know them, you know. I stayed up in Rogers Park at this time. I came all the way out here, sold him some drink. Next day he called me back, you know. I'm knowing the drink fake, but whole time he not knowing that.
It's noted that the drugs were fake, but his victim didn't realize it initially. So when he called him back the following day, Bands was strapped, and things could have gone left real fast. However, they were impressed. So instead of a showdown, they invited him to make money with them.
But he called me like, "Look, shorty, you teed. I ain't never seen no white boy pull up on the block like that and try to sell us, finesse us. So come back, and we gonna make some money.
We gonna get some money.
It was on 71st in South Shore that I made my decision to turn around and go up with him.
One of his early tracks, called Demons, gained a lot of popularity. This song featured other artists like Benji Glow and Rax ATM. He had a successful time in the music industry, with his videos on YouTube getting millions of views. However, his career was cut short when he passed away in June 2019. Morrison. Morrison, born in 1990, is a well-known British hip-hop artist. He gained recognition by releasing several singles that made it to the UK singles chart in 2020 and 2021. Some of these even reached the top 40 on the UK R&B charts. One of his tracks, House and Garage, was released in 2021 and showcased his love for UK garage music. It reached number 46 on the charts and featured H. Morrison has collaborated with other famous artists like Losky, Tion Wayne, Headie One, Kelly Kiara, Bugsy Malone, Harry James, Millions, and Krept and Conan. The rapper is from East London and is a great example of not judging someone based on appearances. He's white and has a comb-over hairstyle, but his life is similar to that of many young people who face challenges in the city. He's earned the title the realest white boy in UK rap for over a decade, and he wears it like a badge of honor. In his song Bad Boys, he said, "I should be dead or in prison, but I'm alive and enjoying my freedom." These lyrics aren't just words. They reflect what Morris has been through. When we talk about Caucasian rappers who rap about the tough street life, it's not always seen as genuine. This is a bit unusual in the UK rap music scene. However, a rapper like Morrison stands out because he's had a long career without any signs of being fake. His first two albums, Currently Getting Currency in 2008 and The Best of Morrison in 2009, were seen as authentic street anthems when they came out. This was because of his powerful lyrics that resonated with people who were into the same kind of rap as established road rappers like Giggs and PDC. But life had other plans for Morrison. In 2017, he found himself behind bars for drug-related issues. However, he didn't let that stop his comeback. After his release, he inked a deal with Sony Since a 93 label. Before this, rapping was just a hobby for him, and he mostly made money through street hustling. Now, with the support of a dedicated team, his opportunities have greatly increased. He talked about this himself in an interview with Reese Parkinson of BBC Radio 1 Extra. In an interview with BBC Radio 1 Extra, Morrison bears it all. He acknowledges that music alone doesn't pay the bills, so he juggles it with other income sources. His work rate and music consistency may not be ideal, but he's unapologetic about it. After all, bills need to be paid. But what about authenticity? Well, for Morrison, that's the gold standard. In the UK, people have a knack for sniffing out fakes, so being real is not just a choice, it's a necessity. London, despite its size, is a close-knit community where everyone knows everyone, making it hard to pull off any facades. Morrison mentions that he's taking music more seriously now, focusing on his music career with the help of a dedicated team. He's quick to point out that the music industry offers safety and better prospects compared to the street life he used to know. It's not just about money, it's about survival and growth. Popek, whose real name is Paweł Ryszard Mikolaju, was born on December 2nd, 1978. He's a man of many names, including Popek Monster and Król Albani, which translates to King of Albania. He has two main careers. He's a Polish hip-hop artist and an MMA fighter. In the early 2000s, he teamed up with other rappers like Boski Roman, Kali, Pomidor, and Tadek to form a group called Firma. Together, they released several albums. He has a unique music style that combines elements of grime, dubstep, and gangsta rap. He can speak German, English, and Polish. He started his solo music career about a decade after forming Firma and has dropped 3 albums on his own. One of his albums, Monster, achieved gold certification in Czech Republic and Poland. Popek has collaborated with many other artists, including Tiggy Smith, Crepton Conan, Chronic Wustern, JME, Big Narsty, Professor Green, SoCal, Peja, Jedker, Virus Syndicate, P-Money, Devlin, Tempa T, Wiley, The Game, and Stitches. He's known for some unusual things like tattooing his eyeballs and filming body suspension footage. In an interview with Noisy, Popek talks about growing up in what he describes as a very dark place on earth. He mentions that he ran away from Poland to Germany when he was 16 and then later moved to Amsterdam.
When I grew up, it was Legnica, a very, very dark place on this planet. And when I was 16, I ran away from Poland to Germany.
Okay.
I was in Germany for 3 years. And bam, to Amsterdam.
Popek's love for rap began with Tupac Shakur. Inspired, he started making music in his mother tongue, Polish. He, along with his fellow Firma members, emerged from the streets, starting as pickpockets.
All of them pickpockets. We became from pickpockets, and after that, somehow by magic, 5 of us just meet together and we created a new hip-hop group from the street.
Now, that's a unique origin story. His decision to tattoo his eye might sound bizarre, but Popek claims it was more weird than painful. He did, however, pay a steep price, losing 35% of his vision.
More weird than painful. For example, it's like, your brother, your sister, front of you, and you just do like this, you know. That's only one thing I can explain. It's so up. I go through it, I lost like 35% of my visuality. That's the price for my eye tattoo.
Popek explains that his personal track, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, reflects the dual nature of his personality, which he attributes to his tumultuous past. He avoids digging too deep into his history. The fear of what he might find lurking in his past is real. Popek briefly mentions his relationship with his parents, stating that his father was his business partner and that his mother left with another man. He also reveals that his father was killed in a hotel room in Krakow. Popek's musical taste is as diverse as his tattoos. From jazz to dubstep, rap to R&B, he's got it all. Popek recalls a studio session in his garage where they didn't sleep for days, fueled by alcohol and cocaine. He also mentions using people who came to buy drugs in one of his music videos. The interview ends with Popek heading to yet another after-party booking. Wherever he goes, chaos and excitement follow. Max the Demon. In the tough neighborhood of Brownsville, Brooklyn, Max the Demon stood out as an up-and-coming star in the rap scene. He was no ordinary artist. He hailed from the very streets that inspired his music, a rapper from the block, if you will. Max's claim to fame was his unique brand of Brooklyn drill music, with hits like Four Quarters, Demon Flow, and The Godfather that pulled in millions of YouTube views. He's a member of the Insane Baby Crips. He didn't just rap about the streets, he lived them. Rumor has it he joined their ranks after a stint in juvie as a minor. Max's mysterious persona grabbed the attention of fans and critics. Some doubted his authenticity, but those who knew him personally swore by him.
He got love, but like it's so like for me, you know, his skin color, so he used to be like. There's a few people that talk, but nobody's. You know that this.
I don't know how he does it, but he's managed to keep most of his life away from the internet. There were rumors about his father being in and out of jail since Max was a kid. His brother is reportedly behind bars for a double homicide. Talk about a complicated family tree. On the morning of July 14, 2021, he was shot outside his apartment in Brownsville, Brooklyn. He got hit by 3 bullets, but miraculously survived and made a full recovery. Eyewitnesses heard 5 gunshots and saw 4 masked men in black hoodies running towards a gray Honda Accord. They were holding what appeared to be Max's Glock 26 pistol with an extended clip, along with money, shoes, and jewelry believed to be taken from the rapper's belongings. The identities of those involved are still pending official confirmation. The bullets used in the shooting can only be fired from a Springfield XD9. Post-shooting, Max went off the radar. No new music, no social media presence. In one video before his disappearance, he pleaded for an entertainment lawyer, hinting at a deal that had him shackled from dropping beats.
What I do is drop some music. They won't let me drop no music. I don't know what to do, man. But look though, I need an entertainment lawyer, you heard? If anybody can recommend an entertainment lawyer.
An interview with one of his associates and fellow rapper Siggy Black provides an update on his situation. The interviewer inquires about whether Siggy Black is still cool with Max, to which Siggy Black responds that Max is his brother and their bond is unbreakable.
That's my brother, bro.
Yeah.
I can never stop. Come on, that's why I started this shit with, and
Yeah.
I knew him before since we was kids. So I'm 13 years old running around.
Siggy Black mentions that he hasn't seen Max recently as he has been focused on his own music. He acknowledges that Max is doing well, but he's not sure about Max's music endeavors at the moment. The interviewer asks if Max still wants to make music, and Siggy Black states that he can't answer that question as it's something Max needs to decide for himself.
But that's a question that I can't answer that. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, that's a question that he got to ask himself.
Siggy Black expresses his own determination to succeed in music and mentions his goal of helping his friends achieve success. Max the Demon is a young man shaped by where he comes from, his family, and the choices he's made. His path from a tough childhood to becoming a rising rapper has been full of obstacles, secrets, and surprises. Max's story is ongoing, and it has the hip-hop world and his fans excited for what happens next. Lil White. From a young age in his hometown of Fraser, Lil White made his claim to fame by nailing Sir Mix-a-Lot's Baby Got Back in all its glory. Not bad for a start, right? In 9th grade, he started participating in freestyle battles in high school just for fun. His friendship with another rapper named Lil Black led him to adopt the name Lil White, and this shift from improvising lyrics on stage to writing songs. Even though he initially didn't follow the traditional education path, Lil White eventually completed high school and earned his diploma. As a member of Shelby Forest Clique, Lil White began exploring the local hip-hop scene. Their demo tape caught the attention of 3 6 Mafia, especially the track Memphis Play As. As a result, they signed him onto their label, and Lil White worked closely with them on several album releases, including his debut. In 2002, Lil White's debut album, Doubt Me Now, released in 2003, catapulted him into the rap scene. He brought in some heavy hitters like Fraser Boy, 3 6 Mafia, and Juvenile, the latter becoming one of his biggest hits. Oxycontin was a raw slice of street life, born from a personal ordeal. Despite his personal reservations about the song, it significantly boosted his career. He explained this in an interview. His brother Jimmy got a prescription for Oxycontin 80 after a leg injury. Lil White, familiar with Xanax and tabs, decided to give it a shot. The first ride was a wild one, a near overdose, but he lived to tell the tale. He recalls being at a coffee shop in Memphis at 5 a.m. after being heavily affected by the drug for hours. Lil White narrates how he suddenly felt his body shutting down in the coffee shop's bathroom, leading to vomiting and feeling extremely ill. He managed to stop himself from collapsing fully and grabbed onto the handicapped rails to prevent falling into the toilet. Back in the studio, he shared the story, and Juicy J suggested a song about pills in general, not just Oxycontin. That night, the beat was born, and Lil White penned the lyrics. It set the pace for his music. Lil White reflects that this experience influenced the type of music he was going to create for his album.
Paul goes in there and makes the beat that night. And like that's the rest was history on that. And like that was what really set the pace for what kind of music I was going to be making on this album.
Lil White is regarded as a Memphis legend. Project Pat even confirmed him in an interview with Chad Arms TV.
It was all good. Like, it's always good with White. That's my guy, man. And, I say this, it's like, man, he a real guy, you know what I'm saying?
Salute to Lil White for sure.
Oh, yeah, man. But Lil White, man, he's a good dude, man.
But Lil White's journey wasn't just music, it was life in the streets too. And he didn't stop at beats. He mixed 3 cannabis strains to create OG White Kush, which is now in 11 states. Quite the entrepreneur. Curb Lagoop. Curb Lagoop, also known as Ryan Kirby, comes from Sarasota, Florida, and has been a notable figure in the underground rap scene for a while. What makes him stand out is his unique, high-pitched voice that immediately grabs your attention. But there's more to Curb Lagoop than just his voice. He showed this part of his life in an interview with the Crazy magazine. Kirby talks about his early exposure to music, mentioning that he started singing wrestler theme songs in the car with his father when he was around 3 or 4 years old. He lists several musical influences, particularly from Louisiana, including Soulja Slim, Master P, Juvenile, Lil Wayne, BG, C-Murder, Boozy, Webby, and some Texas artists known for the chopped and screwed style like Z-Ro and Pimp C. Kirby discusses his past struggles with substance abuse, specifically Xanax, for 6 years, consuming over 4.2 mg pills a day, along with other substances like alcohol and syrup. He mentions that he was on dumb daily for an extended period, but is now in a better place in his life. Kirby recalls 2 incidents related to theft in his life. The first was when someone stole weed that fell out of his pocket when he was 11. The second incident involved a friend hiding his marijuana stash in his collection of Invader Zim memorabilia, where only the weed was stolen, not his Zim collection. Kirby recounts a story from his 7th grade year when he and his friends got into a fight with a larger group, resulting in him getting jumped with a bat. He mentions that he was later banned from county fairgrounds due to starting a gang riot. He has a substantial collection of 40 full albums on Spotify, which might seem overwhelming at first if you're new to his music. However, if you're intrigued by his voice, exploring his music can be an interesting journey. People have mixed reactions when introducing his music to friends. Some love it and some don't. Curb's musical journey started in the late 2000s and early 2010 when he went by the name DJ Curb. During this phase, he specialized in a DJ style called Chop and Screwed. This style involves slowing down and altering songs' pitch, applying effects, and chopping them to highlight specific elements or create unique rhythms. In his early career, he was associated with the rap collective Big Dipper Clique. Even back then, he was experimenting with pitch manipulation in his music, influenced by the southern rap style of his musical heroes. Many of their videos were released in 2012, offering a glimpse into his evolution as an artist. Curb Lagoop's career path is reminiscent of another influential artist, Lil Peep, who had a unique voice and sadly passed away. What's intriguing is that Curb and Lil Peep were friends. Curb Lagoop is a well-respected figure in the underground music scene. He's gained recognition for his one-of-a-kind voice and has produced a lot of music. Some might have mixed feelings about his voice, but it's definitely attention-grabbing. Gutta 100. Gutta 100, born on March 11, 1983, is a hard-working rapper who has released 7 albums between 2019 and 2023. He's gained recognition and awards for his dedication to his craft. Since joining YouTube in 2013, Gutta has amassed over 13 million views, and he has approximately 54K monthly listeners on Spotify. He's not just about flaunting wealth, he's also known for his lyrical skills, which stand up well against other rappers. Gutta has consistently improved his rapping abilities, evident in songs like Beef for Real, Cash Cow, and Out of Bond. While he sometimes raps about violence, his talent for wordplay is undeniable. Moreover, Gutta is skilled at freestyling to the beat and has gained popularity across different racial backgrounds with his rap skills despite being white. Not much is known about his background or personal life, but he's been releasing music for the past few years and has gained millions of plays on songs like We Paid Remix and No Hook. His music focuses on street life and often appears in videos with guns and money. He shared his prison mugshots on Instagram with the caption, "Difference between me and these other guys is I don't cap in my raps." Not much was known about his credibility, but Locos Dolas kind of put it into perspective in an interview with Pop Austin Media. The conversation revolves around Locos Dolas' identity as a white rapper and his claim to be the hardest white boy ever. Locos Dolas differentiates himself from Slim Jesus, another white rapper who gained notoriety but was criticized for not being genuinely hard. He states that Slim Jesus was exposed and implies that his authenticity is unquestionable. He asserts that the streets have verified him as a legitimate legitimate rapper, indicating that he has gained credibility and respect within the rap community. Locos Dolas discusses other white rappers, particularly Gutta 100 from Florida, whom he considers another credible artist. He questions Gutta 100's level of popularity and suggests that there are only a few white rappers with genuine street credibility and popularity to match.
I don't see nobody but one other artist, and that's what, Gutta 100 from Florida? But how poppin' is he? How many people really know Gutta 100?
Gutta 100 might not be popular, but he is as real as they come. His lyrics mostly depict a mix of personal experiences, reflections on life, and commentary on relationships, success, and hardships. Slowthai. Slowthai is a unique artist who thrives on controversy and has undeniable talent. He's not like your typical artist, and his style matches his high-energy personality. He often does unexpected things, like taking off his pants during performances. But there's more to Slowthai than what you see on the surface. Slowthai's music isn't just about shock value. It's raw, genuine, and deeply emotional. His songs tell tales of struggle and run-ins with the law. They are his life stories rather than just scripts. He hints at this in an interview with Montreality. Slowthai mentions one of his songs, Drug Dealer, as being the realest thing he's written. He talks about how that authenticity resonated with people and contributed to his success.
Drug dealer, I went that not feel, that's my that's the hardest, that's the realest I ever wrote. Cause man was really out here, I was really doing my thing, and I had to make it happen, and that was it.
Slowthai has a political side too. He's the Brexit bandit who's unafraid to call out former prime ministers in the middle of his concerts. Yet, he manages to slip important social issues into everyday stories about life in the UK, reminding us that some things are easy to overlook. Slowthai manages to balance being a protest artist with making music that can appeal to a mainstream audience, even getting his songs on BBC Radio 1 playlists. Slowthai is full of charisma, mixing cheekiness with unpredictability. His name comes from Ty, short for Tyron Frampton, and his habit of speaking slowly as a child reflects his distinctive personality. He's not just a rapper, he's a deep thinker. When he answers interview questions, he often gets philosophical and goes off on different topics, showing his complex character. Although Slowthai is incredibly talented, he's sometimes better known for his controversial actions. For instance, he once held up a fake severed head of Boris Johnson during a live performance at the Mercury Prize Awards, which caused a lot of attention. He's not afraid of controversy, and his actions can be polarizing. While he's unapologetically himself, his edgy humor and actions have led to accusations of sexism. During one chaotic event, he showed a lot of energy and even made jokes that were initially funny but turned into inappropriate sexual comments, which upset some people in the audience. Some of them started throwing things at him, and he responded by getting off the stage to retaliate. In his music videos, he includes references to things like cult movies and the places he grew up in. Slowthai is respected by other artists, like Idols, and he's signed to $1 AP Rocky's label. He worked with top talent like Dominic Fike, $1 AP Rocky, and Skepta on his album Tyron. Tyron is a two-part album that shows all the different feelings of a young man. The first 7 songs are intense and raw, showing Slowthai's punk and grime influences. The second part is more about thinking deeply and being open about his feelings, proving he can do many things as an artist. Slowthai also talks about important social issues. When the Black Lives Matter movement became big again, he said it's important to keep working for change, not just react for a short time. He believes in using his music to send important messages. Even though Slowthai has a controversial image, he's a complicated person. His life growing up had a lot of difficulties and problems in his family, which made him see the world in a certain way. He values being true to himself and is really dedicated to his music, hoping to make a lasting impact. Slowthai's story isn't finished yet. His unusual way of living and making music will likely keep him important in the industry. He'll continue to inspire those who connect with his message, but that depends on if he is innocent of his current charges. Slowthai was accused of rape for something that reportedly happened in September 2021. This news was reported on May 15, 2023. Slowthai and his co-accused, Alex Blake Walker, appeared in court on June 15th. They both pleaded not guilty to the charges. The court proceedings will begin on July 1st, 2024. Miliz, whose real name is Miles Lockwood, was born in a Boston hospital in the late 1980s or early 1990s. He's come a long way from a challenging start to become a household name in the industry and the streets. His journey is defined by his determination and love for hip-hop, which helped him overcome many obstacles. He grew up in Cambridge, Massachusetts, in a single-parent household. His mom was an art teacher. However, life was tough for him. He attended Graham and Parks Middle School, where he was placed in special education in the 6th grade.
I was put into special education when I was young for behavior disorders.
This continued during high school at Cambridge Rindge, where he often got into trouble. He was eventually expelled in his freshman year, reportedly for getting into a physical altercation with a teacher. Millie's troubles weren't limited to school. He entered the Cambridge drug trade, selling drugs as early as the 7th grade. In 7th grade, most of us were worrying about pimples and pop quizzes. He talked about this extensively in an interview with No Jumper.
But then I started selling weed at like 12, whatever 7th grade is. However old you are in 7th grade, I got it booming.
His involvement in illegal activities led to multiple encounters with the law. He was slapped with 3 felony charges before hitting 20, including the showstopper, armed robbery, and conspiracy to traffic cocaine. And if that wasn't enough, he lost his best friend, making him ponder if making it to 18 was even in the cards. It was this combination of legal issues and personal tragedy that prompted Millie's to reevaluate his life. He realized that continuing down this path would likely lead to jail or worse. He made a pivotal decision to leave behind his involvement in the drug trade and focus entirely on his music career. Millie's hip-hop journey began with a big break on Boston OG Daniel Laurent's mixtape, School of Hard Knocks. This collaboration gave him exposure in the local Boston music scene and a chance to show his talent. He started sharing his music on MySpace and released his first mixtape, White Boy Like Me, in 2009. Millie's knew how crucial it was to promote himself, so he worked hard to give his mixtape to anyone willing to listen. To reach more people, he teamed up with the local radio station programs and websites. But there was a problem. Boston's hip-hop scene was limited. So in 2011, he went to New York City to find a bigger audience. He documented his journey in a vlog called White Boy Like Me. Fast forward to 2013, Millie's had his big break when he crossed paths with Jadakiss, and they cooked up a new version of his song, The Plug. The song turned heads, but at the same time, Millie's was dealing with depression and anxiety in his personal life. But even with these tough times, Millie's didn't quit. He took a short break to focus on his mental health and then came back in 2016 with an EP called The Short Bus. All that hard work paid off, and famous DJs and radio shows started knocking on his door. He dropped sick freestyles on Shade 45 and Hot 97, proving he wasn't just a one-hit wonder. One of the highlights of Millie's career was when he performed in a cypher at the BT Hip Hop Awards. This was a big opportunity for him to show off his lyrical skills to a wider audience, proving how dedicated he is to his craft. Big Body B-Eaze. B-Eaze was born in 1983 in New York City to parents who came from Albania. He grew up in a peaceful part of NYC called Lindenwood. When he was 15, he met his future friends Mayhem Lauren and Action Bronson. Because of his size, he got the nickname Big Body. He's good at telling funny stories that make everyone laugh, and he's not afraid to be bold in his performances. People enjoy being around him because he's so entertaining. Unlike the previous entries on this list, he is more of a comedian and TV personality than a hip-hop artist. In fact, his wit overshadowed everything else. Yet, lurking beneath that comedic facade was an insane street credibility. In 2011, when B-Eaze was 27 years old, he began his musical journey by collaborating with Action Bronson. On the album Dr. Lecter, B-Eaze excelled in spoken word, skillfully blending elements of New York City street life, economic struggles, and raw humor. He doesn't like being called a hype man or having his contributions to Bronson's songs reduced to mere skits. Instead, he boldly presents them as more than just features, but as unique experiences. One notable moment was his feature on the lyrical track titled September 24th, 11, from Bronson's mixtape Blue Chips. He was praised for his bridge, which, together with Bronson's third verse, gives us a glimpse into a gritty and eventful lifestyle where danger, drugs, and street life play a significant role. B-Eaze wasn't just an entertainer. He was the lifeblood of his hip-hop community. He embodied the bold spirit of the genre, making it about more than just music. It was about the culture, the vibe, and unforgettable personalities. Big Body B-Eaze is like a lively partner who makes Action Bronson's work even better with his unique charm and humor. From his unending enthusiasm to the friendly connection he has with Bronson, it's clear that the NYC street life would be much less interesting without him. In an interview with Rob Kenner, Big B-Eaze pulled back the curtain on his life, relationships, and role in their crew. He described his tour duty as the one who held it down, but made it clear he was no security guard, bouncer, or weed carrier. When asked how he identifies himself in the crew, Big Body B-Eaze asserts that he's a boss and is involved in various aspects behind the scenes. He hints at an upcoming mixtape called Body Language. He didn't shy away from discussing his criminal past, including juvenile detention, robbery, and assaults. Authenticity was his middle name, and he preached the importance of street cred. Action Bronson continues to make music and entertain his audience, while Big Body B-Eaze has chosen a quieter life. B-Eaze occasionally shares glimpses of his lavish lifestyle on social media, but seems content with his private indulgences. Cillian. Cillian is a rapper in the UK drill scene. He has generated some buzz within certain online circles. He is from the Bourne estate in the EC1 area associated with the Easy Cash gang. He used to be a part of the gang for a long time. Some of England's most infamous criminals have committed various serious crimes, including drug dealing, arson, racketeering, extortion, theft, human trafficking, and murder. One well-known example is the Kray twins and their gang, called The Firm, who gained notoriety and even celebrity status during their lifetimes. There are also other criminal groups like the Yiddishers who have kept a lower profile, but still have infamous reputations for their illicit activities. Now, Cillian's gang, the Easy Cash gang, also known as EC, had a rap sheet that read like a thriller novel. Violent attacks, breaking and entering, drug dealing, car theft, you name it, they did it. At one point, their criminal behavior made it very unsafe for local residents. Many people were curious about Cillian and his music, wondering if he was being genuine and truthful about his art and gang affiliation. Some were questioning why he was often made fun of. However, most people recognized that his music was appealing, and he was known for interacting with his fans. There were also rumors that Cillian had scored many points in the past. This included stabbing at least 7 individuals across the rival gangs, including Hoxton and Cali Road. He even released a diss song aimed at the Hoxton gang. He often tells intricate stories of conflict, competition, and maybe even his own life in his songs. He does this by mixing slang and metaphors that might be hard to understand if you're not familiar with the street language he uses. But hold on, he decided to bail on the gang in 2021. No more gangsta life for Cillian, or so he said. Cillian stopped making music after a video exposed him, suggesting that he had been physically attacked and forced to deny involvement in certain activities. Even after leaving EC1 in 2021, there was a video where he stood his ground against several members of the Hoxton gang. This video appears to revolve around Cillian's disassociation from his former gang and the Hoxton gang's acceptance of his claim. They're hashing it out, trying to figure out if Cillian's still Bourne estate or not. It seems that they are ensuring that there are no misunderstandings or lingering issues between Cillian and their group, and they are willing to let the matter rest.
Yeah, you gotta let them know. Are you Bourne estate or not, bro?
No, for the past year I haven't been, you know that, bro.
Yeah?
Trust me, 3 man up.
You say you're not involved?
Come on, man.
Say no more. Say no more. Say no more. Say no more. Go home.
3 man up.
You say you're not involved?
Come on, man.
You're not involved.
Say no more. Say no more.
That's
I love
it.
Yes, I know.
Despite these controversies, people still admired Cillian's musical talent even though they thought he might not become one of the biggest stars in the music industry. Paul Wall. Paul Wall, whose real name is Paul Michael Slayton, was born on March 11, 1981. He is a famous American rapper and DJ. He became well known by working with Swishahouse, a respected record label. He released albums and collaborated with other rap artists there. In Houston, Paul Wall started his career with Chamillionaire. They became successful with their album Get Your Mind Correct in 2002. After that, Atlantic Records noticed his talent and signed him. This led to his first big album, The People's Champ, in 2005, which made him a star. 2 years later, he released Get Money Stay True. One of Paul Wall's significant accomplishments was getting nominated for a Grammy Award in the Best Rap Performance Duo or Group category for his song Grills, which he did with Nelly. Paul Wall's defining moment came in 2005 when he became a Southern rap legend. During the Still Tippin' video shoot with Slim Thug and Mike Jones, Paul Wall left a strong impression. He was dressed in a Rockets jersey and had a WWE Intercontinental title belt. This was when he introduced himself as the People's Champ to the American public. This unique look, along with the hit song Still Tippin', made him a rising star. His platinum grill became a symbol of his image. He also gained recognition for appearing on Kanye West's album Late Registration with the track Drive Slow. In September of that year, his first album, The People's Champ, became #1 on the Billboard 200 chart, a significant achievement that only Houston rapper Scarface had accomplished before. Paul Wall faced challenges on his path to fame. His partnership with Chamillionaire ended, leading Paul Wall to rebrand himself in 2005 and establish his place as a beloved figure in hip-hop. Unlike some artists whose fame is short-lived, Paul Wall continued to thrive. He released more albums, delivered clever verses about Houston's car culture and lifestyle, collaborated with numerous artists, and made lasting friendships in the industry. He navigated through life's ups and downs, from fluctuations in his weight to adding more ink to his body. In a regrettable incident on November 19, 2004, it was reported that Paul Wall and his company assaulted Rasak Sariki, who is Chamillionaire's younger brother, at a nightclub. This was disappointing for Chamillionaire because he considered considered them all as family, and such conflicts should not have occurred. Before this altercation, both Paul Wall and Rasak were part of a group called the Color Changing Clique, which is now divided. After 6 years, they reconciled and demonstrated their unity through a joint tour. Paul Wall reflected on this, saying that it took time for them to mature and overcome their differences. He wanted to prove that he could succeed on his own, countering those who doubted him. In 2016, he and another Houston rapper, Baby Bash, got arrested for having a lot of marijuana with the intention to sell it. Later, their charges were dropped because the jury found out the marijuana was for their personal use. Paul Wall isn't your typical hardcore rapper. He's all about Texas culture. Fancy painted cars, marijuana, and lean are his jam. And he's not just respected, he's celebrated as one of the top white artists in hip-hop. If you like this video, just click the card on your screen now for more hip-hop videos.